Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day. I hope that we are all very healthy, not only physically but also psychologically and spiritually. Today, we are going to discuss about biological psychology. A lot of students are usually surprised to find out they have to study biology in psychology course. But this topic is a very important subject because you will find later that sometimes biological factors influence human behavior and mental processes. Now, let us discuss what does it mean by biological psychology. Can you guess what is the meaning of biological psychology? Biological psychology is the study of behavior and experience in terms of genetics, evolution, and physiology, especially the nervous system. Biological psychology is also known as physiological psychology, psychobiology, biopsychology, or behavioral neuroscience. Basically, biological psychology uses biology to understand human and animal behaviors. The main focus is the brain that decides on what to behave. Now, let me ask you this question. Who or what act as the communication link between the behavior and the brain and vice versa? The answer is neuron, also known as the nerve cell. The main function of the neuron is to transmit information throughout the body in both chemical and electrical form. You may study the structure and function of the neuron in your textbook, paying attention to the terms nucleus, cell body, dendrite, axon, terminal button, and synapse. You also need to read on the communication that occur within a single neuron, and in addition, you also need to familiarize yourself with types of neurotransmitters and their functions. As you can see, we psychologists learn a lot of deals about biology as part of our goal in understanding human behavior. Now, after understanding the neuron as the basic unit of the nervous system, let us understand the bigger structure of one of our internal biological system called the nervous system. Our nervous system is divided into two: the central nervous system, CNS, and the peripheral nervous system, PNS. The CNS is further divided into two: the brain and the spinal cord. Similarly, the PNS is divided into two: the somatic nervous system and the autonomic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system is divided further into sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. By the time you arrive at this chapter, some of you already feel that psychology is not easy as you thought it is. Actually, it is not that difficult. The CNS is at the center of body, i.e. the brain and the spinal cord, whereas the PNS is spread throughout the body. Somatic nervous system involves voluntary activities, whereas autonomic nervous system involves involuntary or automatic activities. These involuntary activities may involve sympathetic nervous system if the body is trying to use energy, or parasympathetic nervous system if the body is trying to conserve energy. As you might have guessed, the most important and fascinating structure of our nervous system is our brain. There are three main parts of the brain: the cerebrum, the cerebellum, and the brainstem, each with different functions. At the same time, there are three components of the brain: the forebrain, the midbrain, and the hindbrain. The largest of these three is called the forebrain, and it consists of several structures, i.e. cerebrum, thalamus, and the limbic system. The cerebral cortex is further divided into 4 lobes: the frontal lobe, the parietal lobe, the occipital lobe, and the temporal lobe. Do not be overwhelmed by the terminologies. They are quite harmless. If you are creative in your studies and use the memory skills suggested by most how to study books, you should be able to remember, understand, and appreciate the brain structures and its functions. For example, hippocampus is related to memory. Now, try to creatively relate the word hippo and the word campus with remembering or forgetting. If you can do that, you will find that studying biological psychology or any other subject for that matter an easy task. Nervous system and its neuron and neurotransmitters is not the only system in our body that communicate to influence or be influenced by our behaviors. Another system called endocrine system and its hormones is also involved. Imagine observing a pattern of behaviors of a friend, and suddenly you found that his father has the same pattern of behavior. You might say, of course, the behavior is inherited from his father. But how far this is true? What about the pattern of behaviors of his other brothers and sisters that are most likely different from his and their father? What about the influence of environmental factors such as childhood upbringing, friendship, and media influence? Genetic does have an influence on our behavior, but not direct. Genetic factors interact with environmental factors to produce different behaviors of each individual. I believe this is a positive thing because it provides different potentials for different human beings. It provides different level of learning opportunities for different human beings. And it provides opportunity for each of us to learn from others and to help others too. Do you notice how your knowledge about biological psychology facilitate you to help other people in your life? Well, that's all for today. I hope you have learned a lot about biological psychology today. Thank you very much and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.